away from Muntman, incoming, insert, of course, another person who is also facing the wrath of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Now, the fate of former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta hangs in the balance as the Office of the Special Prosecutor prepares a crucial news conference coming up in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes on the way forward on the case against him. Now, already sources close to the former Finance Minister have confirmed that he will not be physically present in Ghana today to appear before the Office of the Special Prosecutor as previously agreed, daring the Special Prosecutor to, quote, do the worst. Now, they explain is due to an unexpected deterioration in his health. Opposition New Patriotic Party Director of Legal Affairs, Frank Davis, says this has been officially communicated to the OSP by Mr. Ofori-Atta legal team, along with accompanying medical reports, whilst alerting the Human Rights Court. He spoke on the Super Morning Show early this morning.
With somebody's medical challenge, he doesn't determine it. If I tell you that I'll come and see you tomorrow, and just on the brink of tonight, I suffer a casualty, would you see me tomorrow? I mean, why should it be so difficult for people to understand that the person involved has a health challenge? This was known long before these charges were prepared against him. Who didn't know that Ken was not well? So if it's medical.
All right, let me bring in Mr. Frank Davis. Always a pleasure to speak to you, counsel. Good afternoon, welcome to the poll. So the OSP has scheduled a news conference at 5 p.m. Any expectation of what you want to hear him say?
Thank you once again. Good afternoon to your cherished listeners and esteemed viewers. He scheduled a press conference.
A news conference at 5 p.m.
Well, I always say I'm not a clairvoyant, so I wouldn't know what he wants to say. But I would have thought that he would respond to our letter, written and delivered to him on the 28th of May, requesting for the video recorded interview. If he has decided to snub that, as it is the case, then he wants to go out and hold a press or conference, which he does always. I mean, that's his style. Well, I can't phantom and I can't put my hands on anything as to what he wants to say. Safe to say that I'm sure he's come to respond to us as he does always through public commentary. So we'll wait and listen to what he has to say. And then whatever we also have to say in response, we'll do that. So we'll all wait with bated breath and wait for the almighty Special Prosecutor.
But you expect that in view of all the documents that you've presented to him, updating him on the health state of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta and the reason why he's unable to be physically present, we expect that he will find favor in it and say that because of this and that, we will still maintain the fight. I'll wait for him to get better and then present himself before the OSP.
That is what every reasonable public officer should do. That is what every reasonable and fair-minded public officer should do. So we'll just wait and listen to what he has to say. But like I said, I would have thought that we have rules and etiquette as a bar. Indeed, we are guided by a legal profession rules and etiquette act. So if I write to you as a lawyer, there is corresponding courtesy that you also respond to my letter through the same medium. But if the Special Prosecutor thinks that because he is now the Special Prosecutor, he has abandoned that simple civility amongst lawyers and learned colleagues, and he wants to tread this path, fine. We'll all sit and wait to listen to him. And then after, we will say what we have to say in response. That's my case. Short answer.
Great, but my issue is that the OSP is investigating. At this stage, Mr. Ofori-Atta, whatever information they have against, is only a suspect. But I've been going through what has happened so far from the day that the OSP invited him and Mr. Ofori-Atta was out of the country, the subsequent development on this particular matter. I see some heavy high-handedness in all of this. In the midst of an entity seeking to get information regarding an ongoing investigation, there appears already there's some tension between the two parties. Is it normal that this should rather be the case?
Your guess is as good as mine. Why should there be tension in the first place? Why on earth should there be tension in the first place? It's not as if Kenneth has not been cooperating. From the get-go, every single step he has taken has been communicated to the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Every single step. Up until today. So what has gone amiss? What has gone wrong? I mean, if the Special Prosecutor has a challenge, he should make that known to us. I mean, he is not in that office for his personal glorification. He is in that office for Ghanaians. He is in that office for Ghanaians. He is not in that office for himself. And he has to apply the rules as they are to every citizen who is deserving of protection by the Constitution. Ken Ofori-Atta has fundamental rights, just as he does as a special prosecutor. I mean, so what has gone wrong? I have been asking myself this question repeatedly. Now, look here. You would have wished that you had been in your studio, right?
Right.
You would have wished, by all standards, that you would have been in your studio, right?
Right.
I am unable to be in your studio. You are talking to me via phone. Are we not communicating?
Of course we are.
Is it not the same information that you will have solicited for me in your studio that we're talking about now?
I mean,
hello?
Yes, I get it, but perhaps you can help us with some education. I've heard the narrative that the matter involved requires physical presence. I mean, not one that you can do via video conferencing.
No. What is that supposed to mean? That the matter requires physical presence? I don't get it. What is that supposed to be? We were in this country when the election petition, the 2020 election petition, all right, Rojo Metonunu, who was a very viable witness for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
In the election petition.
Before not president. Rojo Metonunu was in this country. He had not even traveled. He was in this country. His circumstances did not permit him to come to court personally and physically to be cross-examined or to be subjected to the court process. What happened? When he made that famous statement that he was given tea and not biscuit. Was it not by video recording, interview, or cross-examination? What has the law changed now? So what is it that will be asked of Ken Ofori-Atta that he has to be physically present? Why his nails should be examined or his toes should be examined? I mean, I don't understand this fixture. In court, even in court, not in the offices of the special prosecutor, even in when the circumstances of a witness is such that the court cannot personally have him or her in court, the court moves the resident or whichever place that the witness is. That is the court, and the court takes evidence. So what is new? Are we now being governed by different rules of procedure because it's Ken Ofori-Atta? I ask myself all these probing questions, and lawyers, I'm speaking as a trained lawyer, lawyers who are listening and making all kinds of judgmental remarks should always bear fidelity to the law. Is it not permissible that if there cannot be physical interview, a video recorded interview is done? What is then the essence of the Electronic Transactions Act, which was passed way back in 2008? What does it call for? So what is this? What is this fetish about the kind of interrogation that will be done or in with Ofori-Atta demands physical presence? Why?
Counsel,
why would his person or body be searched?
So, Counsel, as you speak, there's no indication when Mr. Ofori-Atta may be returning to the country.
Mister, the man is being attended to by his doctor. The medical record is available to the OSP, is available to the court. Indications have been given. When his health challenge is diminished, Ken Ofori-Atta will arrive in this country. Mm-hmm. Thank you. He will arrive in this country to meet with the special prosecutor. If the special prosecutor thinks that the avenue available now, which is permissible under law, is not something that he's comfortable with, Kenneth Ofori-Atta will be in the country sooner than later. Mm.
And I ask because as a lawyer, sometimes you say you win in the court and you win in the court of public opinion. Are you not worried about the spin people are putting to this? That perhaps
no lawyer worth his salt wins the case in the court of public opinion, please. No lawyer. No lawyer worth his salt wins his case in the court of public opinion. What is the meaning of court of public opinion?
I was actually coming to that. You will allow me to land on that. And I'm asking whether you are not concerned about the perception that perhaps all of this is to delay accountability on the part of Mr. Ofori-Atta.
Why should I be concerned? Why is Mr. Ofori-Atta now a spirit? You mean Mr. Ofori-Atta is invisible? I'm asking, is Mr. Ofori-Atta invisible? If the state wants to prosecute Mr. Ofori-Atta, the state cannot. Is the office of the special prosecutor not a public office? I mean, you want cooperation from a suspect. At this stage, Ken Ofori-Atta is just a suspect. He's just a suspect or a person of interest. Mm. You want to take information from him. Why are you making it difficult for him when you want that piece of information? If you thought that your case was iron-cut and you could go to court with the evidence you have, why do you want Kenneth Ofori-Atta? At any rate, he can decide not to prefer any statement. That is also his fundamental right. He can decide that he will not prefer any statement. Whatever evidence you have, take to court. But the man says, do a video recorded interview, and whatever you want from me, I will give you. If after that you think my physical presence is needed, okay, let us reschedule. I mean, I don't know, but I just cannot understand where all this is going.
Well, we'll have to wait and hear from Mr. Kise-Jabin at 5 p.m. on what the office will do next regarding the deadline they gave that is expiring at the end of the working hours today. But, Counsel, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll have a better discussion after that news conference. But if you are wondering why Mr. Ofori-Atta is such a person of interest, these are the issues against him. Contractual agreements between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SMA and GRA under the Petroleum and Minerals Revenue Assurance. There's also the termination of a contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana and Beijing Chain Technology, that's BXC. There's also the procurement procedures and financial transactions related to the National Cathedral project. There's the Ministry of Health contract with Service Ghana Auto Group Limited for the purchase and maintenance of 307 ambulances. How funds from GRA tax P fund accounts were handled and dispersed. So these are the 5 main charges that the OSP is seeking Mr. Ofori-Atta's comments on them, and then they will decide whether to prosecute or to let him go. Remember that this particular development started in January 2025. OSP named Mr. Ofori-Atta a suspect in 5 cases, the cases that I just ran you through. And then on the 31st of January 2025, lawyers say Mr. Ofori-Atta is abroad for medical reasons. He is still abroad 6 months on. On February 5, the OSP rejected his indefinite absence, demands a return date by 10th February. On the 10th of February, the day that he was expected to appear before the OSP, his doctors, that's Mr. Ofori-Atta's doctors, note submitted with vague details and no clear written. That's according to the OSP, the letter they got from Ms. Ofori-Atta. And then on the 12th of February, the OSP declares Ms. Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice. 18th of February, Ms. Ofori-Atta gives return date in May, the May that just ended, and the OSP removed him from the wanted list on its website and on their social media pages. In March 2025, Ms. Ofori-Atta sues the OSP for declaring him wanted, demanded compensation and removal of related social media posts. The Human Rights Court on March 28 hears an interim application for Ms. Ofori-Atta on the legal action he brought against the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Right, so those are some of the things. Now, the next page is what we are all waiting to hear from Mr. Kise Jabem at 5 p.m. Meanwhile, Mr. Jabem has also reviewed alarming corruption practices within the Ghana Education Service, including the payment of salaries to non-existent teachers, issuance of fake appointment letters, and fraudulent claims on educational facilities. Speaking at the West African Regional Anti-Corruption Policy Dialogue in Accra on the theme, Breaking Barriers, Transforming Healthcare and Education Access for Women through Inclusive Policies and Practices, Mr. Jabin stated that the office is currently investigating the Ghana Education Service and other sectors over what he described as unbelievable and evolving forms of corruption that directly undermines public education healthcare delivery.
Based in your sector, we are finding officers claiming monies and facilities for non-existent schools. In your sector, we are finding that people are carrying around laptops, and this is to caution. They may do so to you very soon. I'm sorry I'm saying this in public without first having told you. With the Director General's signature on their laptops, giving out appointment letters on their laptops wherever they go, and purporting to be appointing teachers and pocketing the proceeds thereof. In your sector, that's because we've done more work in your sector than his sector. In your sector, we are finding the head teachers are validating non-existent persons for payment of salaries. And so you would recall that was 2 weeks ago in the High Court in Tamale, 6 persons were convicted on their own plea in a plea bargain arrangement with the Office of the Special Prosecutor. And we recovered 106,000 cedis for the state. Now, don't dwell on the amount. Dwell on the principle, which is that we are being overwhelmed on the ground. When I say we, I don't mean the OSP, I mean the nation. We are being overwhelmed on the ground in respect of the activities of corrupt actors.
Well, meanwhile, the Special Prosecutor has called for a radical rethinking of Ghana's approach to combating corruption, urging policymakers, institutions, and civil society to anchor anti-corruption efforts in experiences and practical realities of Ghanaian society.
Corruption is stifling us. We cannot enhance access to education and healthcare for women based on the way we are fighting corruption now. The theories are not bearing out what we are encountering on the ground. The theories do not match the practice. Corrupt actors are becoming very ingenious if you preface it with this. We can only do this in respect of our assigned tasks if we reimagine the way we are fighting corruption. If we reconceptualize the fight against corruption and ground it in a functionally specific way and not based on theoretical constructs. Functionally specific way, I mean, in our context now, how do we fight corruption and address the problem in such a way that education of the girl, healthcare to the females would be well founded. That is what I mean. And it is upon this that last week the Office of the Special Prosecutor made proposals to the Constitution Review Committee for Constitutional Reforms. And we have called for a dedicated chapter on anti-corruption with a framework definition of what we mean by corruption. If I were to ask all of us around here what corruption is, we will only describe activities and not be able to firmly pin it down. And we have called for the constitutional drafters to express society's opprobrium in the Constitution and how we want to fight corruption. And we believe that upon this basis, rising from these ashes, we will be able to tackle the problem more forcefully.
All right, so at 5 p.m., that news conference will come on and we'll pick it live here on Joy News. Remember that Mr. Ofori-Atta is being wanted to be arrested and charged. The reason why perhaps the OSP is not exploring the angle of a video conferencing. That is what is at stake now. Not for questioning, but to be arrested and charged. And that probably, you can't do that using the video. But let's still talk about arrests and people who are wanted. Now, the Ghana Police Service has published a list of 8 wanted individuals for various offenses. Joy News is learning that some of the individuals, including one, David Yevuga, a former employee of the biggest ceramic producing firm, KEDA, is out of the country. And here are the details of the suspects as you have them on your television. So those are the individuals as you have them. This is what the Ghana Police Service is after them for various offenses. Let's run through the pictures again. If you just tune in, 8 individuals the Ghana Police is looking for, some out of the country, and the police is on their heels. Let's have a look at the pictures again. So those are the individuals as you have them with their pictures and the offense against them, and 8 individuals, police gazetted, and some of them, as we are told, are out of the country. The police are after them and using Interpol to issue a red alert on them and bring them on into the country. So these are the individuals. One of them, David Yevuga, a former human resource manager at KEDA Ceramics, was first arrested in 2024 by the 2nd Divisional Police Command upon a request or a complaint filed by KEDA. We'll take a short break here on the pulse. Is always brought to you by Defendril Cough Expectorant. It clears chest congestion, smoothness cough, and fight the common cold, helping you breathe easy and feel better. Defendril is available at all pharmacies and OTCs across Ghana. Not recommended for children under 6 years. For bulk purchase, please visit Rapid Improvement Pharmaceuticals on the Sprinters Road, next to the Royal House Chapel, or contact them on 053-666-1432. That's 053-666-1432. Defendril, breathe easy, feel better, and of course, get one for yourself today. Let's take a short break and return with more here on The Pulse.